Okay, now on page 2 of these notes for section 1-1, you'll have a more complex equation. This equation has an x term and a constant on both sides of the equal sign. So be careful not to add the 5x with the minus 2x. That would be wrong. You have to bring the x term from this side to this side by making it a 0. The only way to get a 0 from a negative 2x is to add a 2x. And you do balance your equation, you add it to both sides. So this side would make 7x. The 2x, the negative 2x plus 2x would turn that into a 0. So you bring down the 28. On the equation now, you're going to add 21 to both sides. Bring down your 7x. 7x would equal 49. 28 plus 21. Now, since this means 7 times x equals 49, you're going to solve by dividing by 7. You always pick the opposite operation to isolate your variable. So 7x divided by 7 is 1x. You don't have to put the 1 in front of the x. 49 divided by 7 is 7. And that's your solution for number 7. For number 8, you will have to use the distributive property. When you use the distributive property, don't use the 3n. Just keep it, bring it down. We'll use it in a minute when we start combining like terms. But you do, because of the parentheses next to this 2, you are going to distribute the negative 2. And remember to multiply both the n and the 4. So this becomes negative 2n. Oh, I'm sorry, that's not going to be a positive. That's going to be a negative. I'll put plus a negative, because a negative 2 times a positive 4 is a negative 8. And then bring down your equal sign, your 6n, and your minus 5. Now if you look over here on the left side of the equal sign, you still have some like terms. The negative 3n minus 2n, negative 3 minus 2 is a negative 5. So you have a negative 5n, bring down your minus 8, equals negative 6n minus 5. Now if you notice, it looks a lot like number 7, where you have a variable term on the left and the right side of your equal sign. So you will want to isolate your variable by bringing it to the left side. I'm going to add a 6n from the right side of the equation, and I'm going to add a 6n from the left side of the equation. That's going to leave you with 1n minus 8 is equal to, now that minus 5 means to bring that 5 down as a negative. Now you're going to bring the 8 to the other side of the equation. The opposite operation of subtraction is addition. So you're going to add 8 to both sides. That's going to isolate your variable on the left side. You're going to have n is equal to negative 5 plus 8 is a positive 3. That's the solution to number 8, positive 3. On number 9, it says solve and graph. This is the first inequality. See, the sign's not an equal sign anymore. This sign is less than. On number 10, this sign is a greater than sign. When you have a less than sign, instead of bringing an equal sign down, just keep bringing that one down. Let's bring this x term of 2x by subtracting it from 3x to the other side of the inequality. That means this is 0, so bring down that minus 3 as a negative 3. Also bring down the less than symbol. 3x subtract 2x is just 1x. This is your solution, but since the x is on, oh, no it's not, I'm sorry, I forgot to bring down the 7. Because the 7 is now part of the right side of the equation, you're going to have to bring it over to the left side. So you're going to subtract 7 so that it isolates the variable on this side. 7 subtract 7 is 0, so bring down the x. Negative 3 subtract 7 is a negative 10. Now if you want to read your inequality and you want to read it as x is, this would be x is greater than negative 10, because if you read it from this side, negative 10 is less than x. So if you want to rewrite it, you could say x is greater than negative 10. Now when you graph that, on your number line, this is going to turn into a number line. If you would put a 0 in the middle, your negative 10, negative 10 would go on this side. So if it's anything greater than a negative 10, that means it's not equal to, but anything larger. So you can kind of color your number line going to the right. And a negative 10, the reason I'm leaving the little circle as kind of an open circle is because it's not equal to. Later on when we get to number 11, see the little equal to sign under here? You will have to color in a full circle for that. Alright. Number 10. The distributive property is used again with the 2. 2 times 4 is 8. 2 times a negative 1d is a negative 2d. You have a minus 5d before your inequality. So on this one, the negative 2d minus 5d is a negative 7d. So bring down your 8, but go ahead and combine your 2d terms. They're on that side. Because the d term we want to get the d by itself, we're going to move the 8. You're going to subtract 8 on both sides. This time you're going to get negative 7d is greater than, this ends up 0 because 8 minus 8 is 0. You're going to solve by dividing by negative 7. When you divide by negative 7, anytime you divide 0 by a number, you'll always get 0. So on this one, now when you divide by a negative, you do have to reverse the inequality symbol. That's one of your rules of inequalities. So make sure you remember that. I think I'll even write a little note over here. You might want to add this to your notes. It's actually when you divide or multiply by a negative number, you must reverse your inequality. Don't forget that. So this one, instead of greater than, would be a less than. So it's less than 0. Now to graph this one, just put in the middle of your number line, just put a 0 and then put an open circle, and to show less than, you're going to shade the number line to the left of 0, because anything beyond the left side will be less than 0. Let me know if you have any questions about that one. Alright, number 11. On this one, again, we're going to have to get the variable terms together on one side. Now this is an interesting one, because if you start by moving your 4a on either the left or the right side, look what happens. That becomes a 0, and so does that. So what's left is 6 is greater than or equal to 7. Well, this is a false statement. So false statements have no solutions. So in your notes, make sure you put false statement and then put no solution. That just means there's no value for A that would ever make this inequality a true statement. Okay, think you can do it now.